The most important decision you'll ever make and how you could mess it all up. Well, you can never really mess it all up, but it's interesting. As guys, a lot of us guys don't understand women that well. And we'll talk more about why you need to, otherwise life's just way more difficult. Even if you think women are impossible to understand, which they're not, most men don't understand women, which creates problems for them, and then they tell other men that women don't make sense and they're all crazy. Which kind of makes sense from a guy's perspective, that women seem crazy, but it's just different than that. It's a different operating system. So going to the most important decision you'll make or mess up with women. Women are afraid, especially as they're 25, 35, 45, as they get older, their biggest relationship fear is ending up alone. Now, if they're in a relationship, that would be a different fear. As guys, yeah, we fear losing our freedom. That comes up. It can show up in different ways. A lot of that can be past stuff, immature, not even really valid. It's like our teenager loses our freedom, which also, I live in Colombia. There's a lot of foreign guys here. They're really fulfilled as teenagers, not having a great life. I'm sorry, they're having a lot of fun as teenagers, not having a fulfilling life. Ask me how I know, because I lived in both sides. I've been here almost a decade. So with guys, we're afraid of making the wrong decision. If you make the wrong decision in a relationship, what does that mean? Especially now you're in. Now you're married. Did you get a prenup? Did you not? Should you? Is it spiritual? Are you betting on it to fail? To each their own. You get divorced, there's going to be consequences. It's probably going to be worse than you think. That's my motivational part of today. For most guys, it's going to be worse than they think. Staying will often be worse than you think. We can numb out with cheating, with porn, with alcohol, with different things. So it seems less bad because we're not acknowledging the pain. But we're a straight guy, we're dating a woman who's emotionally sensitive more than most of us men. So she'll feel the pain, which means whether you're aware of it or not, or it shows up in a different way, you will feel the pain, often in many indirect ways of how the woman's feeling disconnected and not safe. I worked for a large coaching company, God, how many years now? I got hired in 15 or 16, no, in 16. And I recognized one simple pattern, and it was for men and women. It wasn't really more specific from one to the other. And most of these people have been to seminars, they're hiring a coach, they're reading books, they're in a mastermind, they listen to podcasts while they're driving to work. They, bottom line, make it really simple, they want to grow. Many of them, in fact, the majority, now these are people, let's say, that I've invested tens of thousands of dollars into their personal development experience, or to make it simple, their overall growth. Most people were with someone they couldn't grow with. So there's a really short relationship seminar I could host. It would last about 28 seconds. Not sure what the price would be. And it would kind of go like this. Most people need to break up. You could say it's my bias, but I found it to be true. I mean, think about it. If you want an amazing relationship and you're in your 30s or 40s and you've had other relationships and you want something that's going to last decades, even though that freaks you out, on be with the same woman for 30 years. Oh my God, what does that mean? Or what about sex, or whatever fear comes up for you, which is normal. If that's the path you end up being on, you then may be with, let's say, one or two people. You could be with a woman for 20 years and she could die. And then you marry someone else and you're with them 20 or 30 years. All the other people you date are not the correct person to be with. Statistically, or based on your own choices. Who you pick to partner with will impact your life. At least top 3 most important decisions you make, I think it's number 1. they influence you the most. If you eat healthy and they like cooking fried food, and that can be part of their culture, whatever. I live in Latin America, fried food's more common, even though people are skinny. But you're a biohacker, but she cooks empanadas or she cooks whatever. That will impact you. That will impact then her health, or is that a value you share? Are you health conscious and your wife is not? Are you a biohacker and into that stuff and she's not? Are you doing the personal development stuff and she's not? Or the scariest thing, I see this a lot in the culture I'm in. Well, she's been waiting for someone like me to get her into personal development and spirituality and biohacking. That could work. I've yet to see it happen, because essentially what that's saying is I have, let's say, connection or chemistry, maybe both. And I want our compatibility to change after I change this woman's values by her being with me. Which, what does that make you? Kind of like her dad, not her boyfriend or husband. And it can work short term. Rarely works, I would say 99% of the time it doesn't work long term. Now, here's the other thing. What if you don't know what you want, or you're not sure how to navigate relationships? I remember when I first had this issue, it was 2015. I was dating a woman, a pretty awesome woman, arguably still one of the most awesome women I dated. And I kind of got to a point where we had a lot of compatibility and we kind of didn't. And there was things that came up, and just, I was 30 then, I'm 40 now. And I remember I reached out to this guy, and it didn't seem like he could help me, but I was just convinced he was the one to help me because I liked reading his blog. So I did a session with him, and then my homework was like to meditate on the beach. I really needed to understand what was going on in me to make a decision. We did break up later, not because of that session. Why I'm telling you this, because being with a great woman who's not the right fit for you will provide a special kind of pain. Because you know too much. Ignorance is bliss and can sometimes be true. When you're with a great woman, and especially if it's someone that in many ways inspires you, or you connect with, or you grow with, or whatever it is, or you just feel fucking good. When you're with that woman, and let's say you wrote out 10 things you need, and in your heart of hearts, you know 3 are missing, it's going to cause a very unique pain. And maybe you're already feeling it. And it's generally going to get worse. And that's when the cheating can come in, going back to the alcohol that maybe is a once in a while thing that starts to creep back in, the smoking the weed, the buying the pills, whatever it is, porn. If you're the kind of guy, which if you're watching this, you most likely are, that knows your own journey with you is important, and you want to create, and it's kind of obvious there's a clear hierarchy that most people don't live by, but it's mathematical. If you have a really messed up relationship with yourself, or you're in a lot of pain and chaos, and I know I've been there, you're going to meet someone like that. So the first thing is getting right with your own integrity, your own journey, settling your own soul, healing yourself, integrating yourself, however you want to say it, it's different facets. And then it creates that relationship. So let's say you're the guy who's done the work on himself. If that relationship's not there, how are you going to raise your kids? When you have distinctly, and you can confuse chemistry with connection, you can confuse connection with chemistry. Those will be topics for other videos. But you get into that experience where you made the wrong decision. The losing of half your money, I think from what I found, that's probably the easiest part. and it's generally more money than you think. The emotional consequences, which is men, we kind of go like, oh, I don't really have emotions like women. It will hurt, and it'll cost more of you thinking you're tough or stoic with how you show up in next relationships, because you've put on so much armor to protect yourself from not getting hurt. And as guys, a lot of times we don't even want to admit that. We'll just say, no, it's just because women are all crazy. And the truth is, you can just be afraid. So again, it's not for me to decide. It never is. Are you with the right woman? For me personally, having had this experience twice in long-term relationships, and then once in a very short-term thing that really moved me, you have to be able to recognize and then to decide. And a lot of times guys think, well, I'm not sure, should I stay or should I go? But we live together, or I've been with her 2 years. This is the tricky thing about women, gentlemen. You may not have told her anything. You could be trying to protect her from, you could even understand a little bit that a woman has this desire to feel safe and secure. So you're not going to tell her what's going on in you. That works for the head. She will feel it. She will feel a problem oftentimes before you know there's a problem. Women are a different operating system, a different culture, a different language. Even though we're both humans, might as well be a different species. We work that different in our hormonal function, our brain function, how we sense things. And here's the good news. You could be with the right woman, and it's perfect for you. And nothing brings out the fears of the little boy more than an intimate relationship. Ask me how I know. But also, if you're not sure what's what, or what's the stuff you didn't heal, even though you've done a lot of inner work, and you think it could be her, or you're projecting on her, you can't lead with certainty in that relationship, and she will feel it. And chances are, if you're nodding your head, or this is resonating with you, not only she's felt it, but she's talked to other friends about it. That's the other side. She can now sense your incongruencies, sense something's off, not know what it is, which makes her feel less safe. And she could go, what if I need to leave? I don't want to leave, but something's off. So you could also get left. That's the part many guys are not thinking about. Are you with the right woman? And the question that's underneath that, are you showing up as the right version of you? Not that there's a wrong version, but sometimes who we were the first 6 months, we can't maintain that, or part of that's a facade. And having that mirror of a real special love, will bring up shit that may have never got brought up before. Unless you are really tight with yourself. And still it'll bring up some new shit. But hopefully you have the tools and the identity to manage it better. So are you with that woman? Or are you not sure and you're wasting your time? Where it's better to sit down and let a man who really wants to commit to her choose her. If you really loved her deeply, what would you do? And how are you showing up right now? Were you that way 6 months ago, a year ago? It's easy to look back and go, oh, wow, for the first 3 months I was crushing it. And then stuff happened, or the fear came up. Make the right decision. You already know, or you can look around. You'll really regret it if you don't. Thanks for tuning in, gents. See you soon.